So people have been dragging The Last of Us TV show through mud and lukewarm milk for some time now. All I've been hearing all week is how bad the casting is for it, and it's the chopped of us, and I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to give as much accuracy as I can, so I stayed up all night last night watching the entirety of The Last of Us series, and partial of Season 2 just because it just released and it's only on the second episode, so I can't really give you a full rundown on that yet. But I can confidently say that as far as the first season goes, it's not as bad as everyone's claiming. Now, I still don't love it. The casting isn't as bad. The subtle differences between the show and the games are nice. Really like it. It puts life into the universe and it separates it just in case they screw something up, which, trust me, they will, they have, and they're going to even more. One of the main differences is Sarah. Do I even have to say it? She's a lot different than the actual game itself, but it's a nice little touch because you actually get to build more of a bond with this character because you kind of spend the first episode with her the entire time. You hang out through her eyes. And it gives you more of a connection with this character that the game really didn't hit me with as much. Don't get me wrong, it's a little girl, and I've always wanted kids. That's a soft spot of mine. Obviously, I'm going to be sad if a damn kid gets hurt in a game or a movie or in real life, anything. But there's more of a connection built here between me and the character. You get to see her whole day venturing around, trying to fix this watch for Joel and trying to do something for his birthday and whatever else. And then you get this connection formed, and then, you know, obviously what happens.
Sir, we are not sick!
It's a slight difference between the games where you don't get this little build up, but it's nice. Just because she looks different doesn't mean it's not telling a really good story. Or now we get to see at least a complete new part of it that we didn't get to see. And that's a common theme with the show, is that I feel like we're seeing a lot of stuff we don't get to see in the game, but I'll get into that later. As far as the casting goes, I'll run down all the characters. Pedro Pascal as Joel, something I never really had a problem with, nor have I heard really anybody else have a problem with, except a few racist people. He kind of plays this gritty, quiet, tough guy pretty well. He's like Hugh Jackman to me, where Hugh Jackman plays Wolverine, really quiet, tough, rough, the whole deal. He's really good at playing these while not being that at all. I feel like a really kind person in real life, and he's more of like an outgoing kind of person instead of this gritty, quiet character that just kind of grumbles at you like damn Kratos. I'm glad he can be such a diverse actor where he can play so many different roles. He just does this really well to me. The look, pretty damn accurate, and I'll get into this later about how this is kind of bothering me. Tess was also really well casted because I think this is probably the most accurate to me comparing the game to the show. They did the utmost accuracy with her because the only difference I can notice between the two, and I just finished The Last of Us game, is that Tess in the TV show seems a little bit older. That's really it. She's kind of hitting that menopause delusional state. It's kind of fitting. You know what I mean? She's been hanging out with Joel for the last 20 years. I can't really blame her. I'd probably be pissed off all the time too. Now for the villain of the show, and I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way, Ellie. Look, man, I'm going to be 110% with you. The first season, I feel like she's actually very fitting for the character, and I'll explain. She does look different, but the acting is phenomenal. She's really meant to be annoying. That's kind of what they tried to depict in the game, but people loved her in the game. But she's meant to be an annoying brat kid with no manners whatsoever. So she's meant to bother you. She grew up during the apocalypse, man. Of course she's not going to have any manners. And she has a sense of entitlement, too, because shit, you know, she's fucking immune. I can't blame her. I'd be entitled, too. Now, that being said, I do agree that she looks nothing like Ellie, and that does bother me mildly. I do think since most of all the other characters in this show look like their reference work from the games, the casting director should have done a better job. Should have at least went with somebody that mildly looked like her, but they look nothing like Ellie. Bella Ramsey looks nothing, absolutely nothing like the character. And I get it. This is an adaptation of the game, so it's not that important. But if you're going to cast everyone else to look like their respected characters, I feel like you need to cast one of, if not the main character, correctly. You should have went into this knowing that you're going to bother people. And maybe they want that kind of publicity, but this is not good publicity. If you're media trained, this is not good publicity. Another person that they did this with, where they casted him almost perfectly, is Bill. I think Nick Offerman was a great pick to play Bill, and I don't really remember his partner other than seeing the dead body, so I can't comment on that one. But this was a really sad story that they got to explore way deeper than they do in the game. and that made it even better. This is a common theme with the show, that it's really going deeper and showing us more of the things we couldn't be shown from the game. It was mentioned, but it was never really shown to us in front of our eyes, but the show is just giving us this so we get more of a connection with the characters. You get to see Bill's struggle with losing his companion. You get to see why Bill is the way he is now. Some people are kind of upset at like, oh, well, why is Bill gay and why is this shit all... Well, brother, that's how the game went. They're going off the game, man. The game, that's how it was always kind of told, so you're just pissed off for no reason. Now, I do feel as if I connected with these characters way better than I was expected to, having played the game so many times, because I've beat the original Last of Us maybe 4 times now, and I really connected with these characters. Even Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey do an amazing job at depicting kind of the relationship that Joel and Ellie have. At the beginning, more so than towards the end, they're not as strong as our beloveds did. Seriously. They did an amazing job. A really good scene that displays this is when Ellie and Joel get separated. When she's captured by the creep, Joel's doing everything under the sun to find her. He does some diabolical shit to these 2 gunmen in order just to find Ellie, and it kind of leads you into what the game leads you into. Joel is willing to do anything at all to protect her. Not if it's necessary, not if it's overboard, it don't matter. And that's something important to the story. You have to get that right. If there's no chemistry between the actor and actress that would play these roles, these scenes would mean almost nothing. They wouldn't pan out into anything. Once he found her, he'd just dap her up and be like, oh, you're alive, my Gemini twin, and then fucking walk off. But they show the emotional side and the care for each other very, very well. The game depicts really well, and they depict it really well in the show, too. Now, speaking about the scene, it actually does happen different from in the game. In the game, Ellie is greeted by Joel when she is hacksawing away the creep's last little piece of brains, while in the show, she's actually already hitting the road, and he walks up behind her and scares the absolute shit out of her. Horrible survival skills. You're supposed to keep your head on a swivel. That's like the bare minimum. But seriously, this scene does have the same hit to the chest that the original one did, at least for me. Joel scares the shit out of her because she just went through hell. It's the comforter, and something that I really liked, but I also didn't really like, is that in the show, when she's being comforted by Joel and she's freaking out and she finally calms down, you can hear her utter he, and then she just cuts off and then she just buries her face in his chest, which is really, really sad, but only if you know what she's going to say from the game. In the game, she says, he tried to, and then she cuts off. And that adds so much of an emotional connection to the character, where if you are connected from the game, it carries over into the show because you know what she's going to say. But for your average Joe that has a damn Max subscription and you just wanted to watch the show, you're probably not really going to get that reference. Or you probably will, because I wish they would have made it exactly like the game and reshot that take, but it's almost like it gives somebody that played the game a little bit of an advantage, where they're like, oh, and it just hits a little harder for you because you know what she's going to say or what she's trying to say. Also, another little nod that I stumbled across while I was looking at a few articles. In the second game, when Ellie's all by herself, she whispers to herself what Joel used to say to her, but her own little version. He always says, like, you're okay, and he always adds some baby girl in it for some reason. But as a way of comforting herself, she does kind of the same thing, where she whispers to herself. She's like, okay, you're okay, you're okay. And I thought this was really, really sad, but really, really cool. If you think about it, Ellie's worst nightmare comes true. She is alone now. So I hope they bring this into the show, because if they don't, I'm going to be pissed beyond comprehension, because that's sad. That would be perfect for the show. Now, moving into the second season, and I will talk about this, I'm on the other end of the spectrum. As much as I just talked up Bella Ramsey's depiction of the character, she just doesn't look old enough, man. She does not look old enough for the character just now. They should have just recast her for the second season, and I hate to say that, because Bella Ramsey did do a good depiction of the character, but she just can't play an adult. They would have shot the second season a few years down the road, maybe, and she could have changed up, looked older, grew a little taller, shit, I don't know, something, then that's one thing. But in my eyes, she still is just a small child, maybe with a tattoo now, but a small child. Can't even speak in an adult tone where she sounds like she's taking charge and she's her own person. She sounds like a little kid making demands, and all the real adults that would sit around would just kind of laugh and go, huh, good one, buddy. She doesn't fit in to this whole crew and group and where she needs to be on her own. In my eyes, she still needs to be kind of, I don't know, under Joel's wing. She still looks like a child. Again, this wouldn't really be that big of an issue if they weren't trying to depict the game where she is like a 20-something-year-old. And this also wouldn't be an issue if they didn't pick everyone else to look like their fucking characters from the game. It gets even worse in the second season because they got a spot on actor for Jesse, man. He's like a 1-to-1 ratio, perfect rip from the game. He even does the same awkward shit. I don't know, bro. They got a pretty spot-on actress for Abby besides the big muscles. Dina is decent, maybe not spot on, but decent. But no, let's keep Ellie looking like a damn moderate to severe 11-year-old. I don't understand why they couldn't just recast her. I love to see Bella Ramsey chase that bag, don't get me wrong, but for the second season, just look older or something. I don't know, even some form of like makeup to make her look older. Maybe some kind of damn stilts to make her taller, or like just a bulk, a bodysuit, anything. Watch a Sam Sulek video. Just bulk a little bit. Even if you got an actress that looks more similar to Bella Ramsey instead of Ellie in the games, just do that. That would have made more sense to me because she would have at least looked older. You can find someone that looks like Bella Ramsey but older at your nearest Walmart. She would have sounded older, she would have been older, and it just would have been better. And Bella Ramsey's an entire adult, so I understand that, but she can't really play an adult. She's a whole-ass adult, but in my brain, she's still just a super baby-faced person that should play younger people. Like me, I'm a super baby-faced person myself. My voice isn't deep, I understand that. I'm not gonna volunteer to play fucking Tommy or Bill for the DLC of the game unless they're really young or something. Naughty Dog Studios, email me please, thank you. But seriously, as I said before, no hate to the actors or actresses. They're doing a fantastic job with what they're given. And even I can say that I wouldn't want to drop the role if I was working on such a cool project with so many amazing faces. I can't blame them. But I do wish the director had more of a vision for the show instead of just grabbing as much money as they can. Because in my brain, I go, okay, well, the reason why they don't want to recast is because the actress that would come in to replace current Ellie would probably go, okay, well, your show is making a ton of money. Give me some money. So no, they can just keep the same fixed rate of money for damn Ellie, or Bella Ramsey, I guess I should say. They can keep the same fixed rate for her acting and go, okay, well, you make this and this per episode, so it's just whatever you want to do, twin. Or at least that's what it feels like. With that being said, do I think the show is worth watching? Absolutely, especially if you're a fan of The Last of Us game. You're gonna like this. It's really cool how they do the whole cordyceps virus and how they kind of play into this real world idea of like, okay, well, global warming could cause cordyceps to mutate and make this a real thing. It's a really cool show because it shows you things. Again, like in the second season, they show you the actual raid that happens on the city between the big-ass crowd of frozen zombies that come up. That just happened in the latest episode, and they actually show you that instead of just showing you Abby running from the shit. I think this is a really cool thing. If they keep on showing things from the game that people wanted to see, but there was no elaboration on it, that's great. And that could also mean that they're probably not going to make a third game to explain the elaborations that they missed out on with the second game. All the plot holes and shit they could just address in the show, which would suck, but they could do that. But I do think it's worth a watch. Just going to put that out there. I've also been thinking of doing a playthrough on my stream, or maybe even make a Let's Play series on here if you guys would be interested in me doing something like that, of Last of Us Part 2. I don't know. I'm just debating on it. I don't know. I'm probably going to play Dark Souls 3 here soon with a buddy of mine, but this show is good enough to make me contemplate that, so it's got to be decent. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.